Hello, third grade. Hello. Mrs. Gosnow here. We are working big time on vocabulary. We are still working on vocabulary all week this week as well. We started it last week. We're still going to work on building our vocabulary this week. Not only building it, but learning strategies that are going to help us build it on our own. One strategy in particular is being word aware. We're being word aware. Word aware. How can we be word aware? Well, strong readers are word aware. When they come to a word they don't know, they don't give up. They look for clues. They think, I think I can figure this out. They ask themselves, do I know this word? Do I know this word? What clues can I use to understand this word? And the big thing they asked is, they say, strong readers say, let me figure it out. Let me figure it out. Do I know this word? What are clues that can help me? Or what clues can I use? What clues can I use to understand this word? And so we talked big time last week too about what those clues were. They were called context clues. And if you watched that video, you had a good refresher on what those context clues are. Inference, definition, examples, antonyms, and synonyms. I like to call them ideas. So you put all these words together, you get the word idea. Ideas. Pretty clever, huh? So, thinking about context clues, I want you to think about ideas. Can I infer what's going on? Is there a definition I can use? Is there an example that helps illustrate what that word can mean or help me figure out that word? Are there antonyms that can help me do the same? What about synonyms? Remember, antonyms are opposite and synonyms are same meaning. Opposite meaning, same meaning. Different words, opposite meaning, same meaning, or similar meaning. So today in reading, we are going to finish our Magic Treehouse book. Can you believe it? We finally made it to chapter 10. We are going to finish our Magic Treehouse book, but that doesn't mean we're done with it. We're still going to go back and analyze a few things. So we are going to read our very, very, very last chapter. I'm super excited because this is our first chapter book this year. And for some of you, it's your first chapter book ever. And that's exciting. That deserves celebration. So let's find out. Chapter 10 is called Home Before Dark. In chapter 9, where we left off, Jack and Annie made a wish. They made a wish. They made a wish. They finally escaped the jaws of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And they went back. Jack ended up at the treehouse because of Henry. Henry saved his life. Henry and his sister Annie saved his life. And they found that Pennsylvania book of Frog Creek. And he rubbed it and they wished. And the house started spinning, the treehouse started spinning, and it spun faster and faster, and everything was still, absolutely still, which landed us here in chapter 10. Oh boy. So I wonder if they made it home. Home before dark. Jack heard a bird singing. He opened his eyes. He was still pointing at the picture of the Frog Creek woods. He peeked out the treehouse window. Outside, he saw the exact same view as the picture in the book. Interesting. We're home, whispered Annie. The woods were lit with a golden late afternoon light. Oh, I can visualize it in my mind. The sun was about to set. Oh, it's not dark yet. No time had passed since they left Frog Creek. Oh, my gracious. It's as if they never left at all. Look at this illustration. You can see their house. Jack! Annie! A voice called from the distance. That's Mom, said Annie. Jack saw their mother far away. There she is. Boop. She was standing in front of their house. She looked tiny. Annie! Jack! She called. Any interesting words we need to use our context clues to figure out yet? Remember, we always use these strategies even after we learn them. You never know when you need them. Annie stuck her head out the window and shouted, "Coming!" Jack still felt dazed. He was just staring at Annie. Oh, that's a good word to use our context clues with. Dazed. He still felt dazed, so it's something that he feels. That's a clue. And why would he be feeling dazed? Oh, that's because they kind of traveled through time, right? Makes your mind a little foggy afterwards. Does dazed mean kind of foggy? He just stared at Annie. Give us an example of what dazed. That's a good example of what being dazed is. You're just staring into space. He was just staring at Annie. So maybe he's just kind of confused. Dazed means a little confused. Great job using those context clues. What happened to us, he said. We took a trip in a magic treehouse, said Annie simply. But it's the same time as when we left, said Jack. Annie shrugged. How did it take us so far away, said Jack. He has so many questions. And are you wondering the same thing I'm wondering? What about that medallion they found? Remember, good readers always ask these questions. Is that going to ever show back up in this book? I wonder. And so long ago, you looked at a picture in a book and said you wished you could go there, said Annie. And the magic treehouse took us there. But how, said Jack. And who built this magic treehouse? Who put these books here? A magic person, I guess, said Annie. Oh, look, said Jack. I almost forgot about this. Jack reached into his pocket and pulled out the golden medallion. I knew it was going to come back into the story. I was hoping this chapter would end without telling us about that mystery. Someone lost this back there, he said, in Dinosaur Land. Look, there's a letter M on it. I wonder what that M stands for. Annie's eyes got round. You think M stands for magic person, she asked. I don't know, said Jack. I just know someone went to that place before us. Jack and Annie, their mom called out. Coming, Annie shouted. Jack put the golden medallion back in his pocket. He pulled the dinosaur book out of his pack and put it back with the other books. Then he and Annie looked at one last look around the treehouse. Goodbye, house, whispered Annie. It's like they're never going to go back. Jack slung his backpack over his shoulders. Slung. We didn't know what slung meant. What clues could tell us what it means? Definitely the backpack. So it's something you can do with the backpack. And over his shoulders. Does that mean swing? He swung his backpack over his shoulders. This is another word for slung. Annie started down the rope ladder. Jack followed. Seconds later, they hopped onto the ground and started walking out of the woods. No one's going to believe our story, said Jack. Not with his information. Remember how we said his information about dinosaurs weren't even relevant? I doubt anyone's going to believe him with the notes he took. So let's not tell anyone, said Annie. Dad won't believe it, said Jack. He'll say it was a dream, said Annie. Mom won't believe it, said Jack. She'll say it was pretend. My teacher won't believe it, said Jack. She'll say you're nuts, said Annie. We better not tell anyone, said Jack. I already said that, said Annie. She's like, don't be taking my ideas. Jack sighed. I think I'm starting not to believe in myself, he said. They left the woods and started up the road towards the house. As they walked past all the houses on their street, the trip to Dinosaur Time did seem more and more like a dream. He did say he felt dazed. Only this world and this time seemed real. Jack reached into his pocket. He clasped the golden medallion. He felt the engraving of the letter M. It made his fingers tingle. Jack laughed. Suddenly, he felt very happy. He couldn't explain what had happened today, but he knew for sure that their trip in the magic treehouse had been real. Absolutely real. Tomorrow, Jack said softly, we'll go back to the woods. Of course, said Annie, and we'll climb up to the treehouse, said Jack. Of course, said Annie. Oh boy, he's changing a lot. Remember how cautious he was? He wants to go back to the treehouse. Boy, I think his sister is rubbing off on him. And we'll see what happens next, said Jack. Of course, said Annie. Race you. And they took off together, running for home. Aw, he raced with her at the end. Remember in the beginning of the book, he did not race with her and didn't want to play with her at all? I think they bonded. They bonded going back to the Cretaceous period together. Makes you a little teary-eyed. And that was the end of book 1 of the Magic Treehouse. There is another Magic Treehouse book here. And we're going to actually read this one. This is our next book. We're going to read Magic Treehouse number 2, The Night at Dawn. I wonder how they're going to get back in time to where knights roam the land. Oh, I can't wait. It says Jack and Annie go to the time of nights and explore a castle with a hidden passage. I can't wait. Let's check out this book. Oh, I love trade books like this and other chapter books like this because it makes you want to read more books like it. If you like this book, then you'll probably like the other books too. But I should have bought this when we were doing our fact checks. Look at this. Magic Treehouse fact tracker. Dinosaurs. Oh, I want that book. I think I'm going to go out and buy it. We could have used that. So it's available now. Now, just because we are finished reading this book, we are not done analyzing it. There's a few things we need to do with this book. And remember, this book is not yours. It is not yours to keep. This comes back to school for my kids next year. So in order to get your new book, you're going to have to return this book. So remember that. I want my book back. This belongs to the classroom. So, but we're going to hang on to it because we have some work to do with it yet. We have one last week with it, and that is this week. And then you're going to return it back to me. All right. That was so much fun. I'm so glad Jack and Annie bonded at the end of that story. What did you think? Take care.